Hello and welcome to this.
That's how you start, huh?
Yeah,
It's for the video. Yeah.
It's
The
for
clap.
the video.
Oh,
It's
okay.
okay. We'll leave this. I don't
Nice.
care.
No,
No,
I
we
love
won't.
Yeah, it's all right.
Start
Hello and welcome to the Talkin podcast. I am your host, who's about to be murdered, Michael.
Yeah.
And with me is Nathaniel. Hello.
Today I'm extra eager for this episode. I was already
Yes.
excited. I'm particularly excited now though because we have a very special episode. If you listened to last week, Gerard, it aired. If you haven't, maybe go check that out. Great information from our little bear friend Gerard. In this episode, we've got some people who were on the sidelines for the last one, spoiler alert, and I think that this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited.
Yeah, because if you listen to the end of the Gerard episode, you heard me dig my own grave.
That's right.
So
That's right. Talked a lot of shit, and
that was a week ago for you guys. That was 20 minutes ago for these guys.
They've
So.
had time to sit and fester. Yeah. It's going to be good. No, so with us, this is also the first episode where we're going to do it as two guests, like instead of like a three host situation. You guys do a lot of stuff together. So with us today is Mr. Andrew McAffrey. How are you, buddy?
Also
Good,
known as
you
Nathaniel's
guys.
boyfriend.
Thanks
First
for
time on the
having us.
show. Yeah. The listeners will be very glad to finally connect with who I've been talking about this entire time. That'll be great. I've been kissing your ass each week for 6 months, so that's cool.
It's uncomfortable how much he looks up to you.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's
It's
very-
uncomfortable how much you look like a toothbrush.
All right.
We're here, baby.
Okay.
You guys in the barber shop, he says, give me the fucking Oral B gay. That's what it is. This guy. He's great at real estate, though.
All right. Let's go ahead and
This is
introduce the
gonna
other
be-
person who's going to burn me at the
This
stake.
will be the best hour of my
He
life.
can
Yeah.
sell a house, though.
30
so
some episodes in, it was time for Michael to get humbled. With us,
is somebody who's officially entering the Three Timers Club, along with Rain McKee, a very exclusive club. Mr. Justin Mays, what's up, buddy?
What's up, Nathaniel?
Welcome back. You're back to the studio. You never been in here before.
yeah.
No,
It's a
Michael,
first.
you fucking bitch.
At least you're saying it to my face this time.
Goddamn
honestly.
right. I was saying to your face last time. You were scared to podcast last time, dude. That was the beef.
Dude,
was in rehab.
last time you guys were just going after me, and I'm like, I don't know these people like
And it's
this.
gonna be the same this time. No, fucking.
Yeah.
While you guys were recording the last one, I was just going and knocking on his neighbor's doors, telling him all he's voting for Biden.
That's not something that wants to be publicized in this neighborhood.
Have fun with that, dude. They're gonna storm this bitch like the Capitol.
We're gonna have my own January 6th out here.
Yeah.
They're gonna come home to a bunch of plaid on the fucking front of the yard, dude.
This is gonna be amazing.
This
This is gonna be
is,
amazing. No, so we have two guests on today because
Yes.
you guys are just the scene in Knoxville is really cracking. You guys are doing so many shows and stuff. I mean, what do you all have coming up? We'll go. I mean, obviously you don't have to plug everything, but is there something on the horizon that like that's why you're here? You got stuff going left and right now, all the time shows.
This is a media tour for them.
Yeah, pretty much. We're here to sell your wares, your book.
Oh.
I mean, I know probably the coolest thing we got coming up. We're not doing it, but Adam Aaron has a show at Alley Ray's that Sean Patton's headlining.
Yes.
Really?
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Adam's
Yeah.
doing some crazy stuff at Alley Ray's.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for that room, Sean Patton, crazy.
Yeah.
That's gonna
He's
be awesome.
Blow the roof off that place.
Yeah.
So him, and then I believe Brandy, I think has Shane Torres coming too.
Oh, cool.
So-
Yeah, they just did West End together too. Yeah.
And then we have somebody pretty big coming in April. That's for Don't Tell though, so we can't spoil it. But
Yeah.
Can't
they're on
tell.
Nashville Comedy Festival. They're like one of the headliners
Hell
in the
yeah.
club that week. So
Yeah.
very funny.
That's
He
gonna be
works
awesome.
the cellar, so
Yeah.
very funny guy.
They'll deduce who it is now. Somebody
They'll
will put
figure it
together.
out.
Yeah.
Dude, but yeah,
No, it's
you have seen his clips.
We're so far
Absolutely.
behind by the time this comes out. It may have
That's
already
true.
been announced.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be. I mean, you guys have shows left and right, and I've done stuff with you all, like work with shows. Michael, you haven't done their mics
Yeah,
or
why
anything,
haven't
have
you booked me, man?
That's not what
What's
Why haven't you gotten funnier?
up? Touche. I mean,
Hell yeah.
I
You got a
can't.
10-month-old.
I can't. I can't.
You
That's
can't do shows.
facts.
That's
facts,
true.
Facts,
That's true.
facts.
Yeah,
No.
that's true.
Um,
I meant open mics. You haven't hit their open mics.
I've not, no,
Yeah.
because they're and it's more of a me problem. It's not.
Agreed.
It's just the days of the week that
Yeah,
they
just get
are.
down there, dude. For
Yeah.
sure. I mean, we got
Leave
a million
your
fucking
kid.
texts. We tried to book you on the goddamn roast battle.
Yeah, you tried to
Nailed.
book me on the goddamn roast battle a day before it was happening.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I thought
Yeah.
you wanted to do comedy.
Yeah.
You matched your goddamn with a goddamn. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. No, we were gonna roast each other to promote the show also. So if you're listening and that's something you want, DM Michael and tell him he's being a bitch.
I'll
And
do it. I don't care.
Who are you
I
gonna
think-
have? Who are you gonna have him roast?
It was
I
going
was
to be
gonna roast
us.
each other.
Me.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
cool.
It's
Yeah.
going to be
It was a
us.
fun drive home.
Can I use that
That would've
toothbrush?
been a
Can I
very-
use
That was good. That was
What?
or
that
I'll be
was-
gay. I'll be using that.
Listen,
If I, yeah.
Here's a peek behind the curtain for anybody who's ever seen a clip or me perform. Every opener I
the
have
meat behind the curtain.
a peek behind the curtain.
I was like a
Fucking-
pussy.
That's why you should have the fucking headphones on. Anyway, peek behind the curtain, a meat behind the curtain, if you will.
Yes. Beautiful.
For every opener I have is just an insult another comedian has told me. So that's
true. That's going on the list.
That will be on the list.
Oral B
Yeah, okay.
gay is
I
going
like
on
it.
the list.
Yeah.
Travis gave me the Viagra one, which you shouted out last
Yep.
week, and that Viagra one murders.
It's great.
I love that
It's great.
one. So anyway,
You're
thank
just
you.
so fun to make fun of. That's what it is.
Yeah.
He has great hair.
I try to be a good sport about it. so.
Yeah.
You're just so nice.
We also
It's always nice people. You're like, I don't fucking hate that.
yeah. Let's destroy him.
make him mean.
Yeah. One of us.
By the end of this, you will have an edge. You will be so ruthless by the end of this.
I try to keep it
You
professional.
don't even love your baby anymore. after this.
Grow up.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's gonna be a blast. It's
I'm-
gonna be a blast.
You know, you guys just want to go and wrap it up. I don't think I'm ready for that.
He's scared. Yeah.
All right.
No, so we've had Justin on before, and
Yeah.
Justin, you got to talk a lot about Don't Tell, and also just your experience with comedy. But Andrew, this is your first time on the show, so I mean, walk us through how long have you been doing stand up?
Almost 6 years, actually.
Wow.
Jeez, I didn't know that long.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think you'd be funnier. I'm
Seriously,
sorry. I
since,
just-
he's
since
just
the
fucking asking
pandemic.
for it. He's just asking for it.
I was trying to like lean into the edge side of it. I think
Yeah.
you're funny.
It's not
Yeah.
working. It's
Yeah.
not working.
I didn't even hear what he said.
He's
That's
talking
okay.
shit.
Oh,
I
damn.
whispered
No,
it.
so
They heard. You
6
didn't hear.
years.
That was
is
ten.
it-
The Edge from U2. That gay guy.
So 6 years.
6 years, yes.
Is a long time. That's a long time. And
Yeah.
that scene, I would imagine, has changed a
4
lot.
of them sober, I guess. So
That's cool.
That's when I really consider I started comedy. But
Yeah.
I have to say,
4 that you remember. Is that how that works?
for the
Yeah.
most part.
Well,
Yeah.
that's fair. I mean, honestly, that's fair. I'm sure you can agree to this, and I don't think you drink a lot before you go on stage. Justin, I don't know about you, but
Not
like,
anymore.
Maybe one.
Yeah,
it's
I'm the same way.
It's a different beast. Drunk performing
Yeah.
and sober performing. You know.
Yeah,
So
you're very friendly when you're drunk.
Sure is.
I quit drinking.
Very
Did I tell you
friendly.
that?
No.
I am 3 weeks sober
Oh no, you
today.
did tell
Oh,
me that.
damn.
Yeah.
Because you were nice to Nathaniel.
Yeah.
No,
He's like, no more of this shit. Yeah.
No, I am like that. I will say one thing about me when I'm drunk is I'm the nicest guy you're ever gonna meet.
Yeah.
I love everybody.
It's a
to
little
problem.
frightening, actually.
Yeah,
It is, yeah.
but I quit drinking, so
Yeah.
boom. Anyway, go ahead.
We'll see.
No,
Check
I
in next
fucking
week.
hate everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Check in next
3
week.
weeks is the
We'll see.
longest I've ever gone since I was 15 without drinking. So
Nice.
God damn.
boom.
That's pretty bad.
That's a stretch.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's why I'm
It's
funny.
a sober crowd.
Just so you guys know.
no, it's not.
Congratulations.
There's
Yeah.
nobody-
Anyway, I
we
just,
brought your chip. Yeah.
yeah, I just
Yeah, dude, don't you guys have to do
brought down the energy.
something?
I don't think there's a 3-week
Well,
chip.
we've
There's
only
a handshake for sobriety or something you guys can do?
there's
I'm
only
just proud of myself. That's all
Yeah.
it was. It's just
Don't you have a badge you have to pin on him or something?
yeah.
yeah, pin it like
I
a
have
little.
to stab it right in
I
his
was gonna
liver.
say.
It's crazy.
My liver can't.
Yeah.
We have one
take it.
liver between the two of us.
Probably.
I have said before on the show, obviously I've talked about a lot of people on the show. I've talked about Andrew before, and I think I've said I wish that if there was one person that I wish I could just have on my shoulder at all times, like a little version of just whispering mean shit in my ear, it's Andrew. And then I've said that to Justin, and Justin's like, dude, that's literally what I have all the time. It's just Andrew in my ear saying messed up things all the time. It's my favorite part of going to Knoxville, I think. It's just hearing whatever wild shit comes out of his
I
mouth.
did it to Justin one time, and he just goes, "I'm on mushrooms, not right now."
I can't comprehend
I was
what
like,
Not right
okay.
now.
To actually be nice, we'll see how often it happens today. But to actually be nice, I did do a show with you at Alley Ray's,
Yeah.
and I've seen you a couple times. And
Yeah.
that show at Alley Ray's was not the best for any of us.
I fucking
But I will say, I think your sense of humor and your style of comedy I love that style of
I do
comedy.
too. I do too.
Fucking kills. That room at Alley Ray's,
Thank
honestly, me, you, and Nathaniel were kind of set up for failure.
Yeah, there was a situation involved. It was bad.
It wasn't a good room, and then there was a very high energetic comic that really just messed up the vibe that we bring. And so
I don't think that was the problem. There was another problem that we'll talk about off mic, but yeah,
But,
there was problems. Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I do want to say that every time I've seen you perform, it's been very funny.
So fun.
you.
Yeah.
Can't say the same for
Do
Justin,
you-
but
Right.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Jesus.
He's just asking for it. It's incredible.
He
Because
brought
you
a
leave before my set every time. You're like, I got a 10-month-old.
yeah, I use my daughter as an excuse, but that's
Yeah.
not why I'm leaving.
Yeah.
I see
That's
the list.
fair.
I know who's up.
Well, if you
God,
want to
he's
get booked,
fucking
maybe you
asking
should
for-
stick around and study.
If you watched last episode, you would know that Justin has a knife.
That's right.
Yes,
now.
yes.
That's right.
Dude, what's funny is the story, if you listen to Gerard's episode, the story that he told about the bouncer like knocking that dude out.
Yeah, that
Were
was
you
you.
the bouncer?
That's not,
Please tell me you were
that's
the-
not exactly the story. I was the comedian.
I think I said, was it
You'll
Justin?
play
I
the
was
comedian.
just fucking
Dude.
kidding.
Yeah.
Dude.
Dude, there was like the dude he tripped, like Gerard said, in the front row. He spilled his beer all over himself. Of course, I have to make fun of him.
Yeah,
Of course.
yeah.
I don't remember what I said, but he immediately got like drunk angry
Oh,
and
hell
just like
yeah.
fucked with me my whole set, just
Yeah.
yelling out. So I had to argue with him for like 7 minutes. And
That's
then,
beautiful.
And then it wasn't the bouncer. He walked out into the bar, and it was just two dudes that knew a comic that was there, and they were bouncers they worked at another bar.
club? Yeah.
And they just happened to be there to watch comedy, and they were like, "That guy's funny, fuck you," and knocked him out. And I just
That's
came out
pretty
there,
cool.
and he was on the floor. I was like, "What happened?" They were like, "Yo, we got your
Yeah.
fucking back, dude."
I would say that's
Some
fans.
Yeah.
That's fans for
so,
sure. Yeah.
So, Michael, you keep talking shit. I'm gonna send those
You're
two
gonna send the
smelly guys
bouncers
up
out?
there, dude. Your wife's gonna come home to you, knock the fuck out in the basement.
That's fair.
We got
smelly
Knoxville
guys.
goons.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
got goons, dude, on
Cool.
deck.
That's a cool scene. You guys got.
There's not an episode next week. It's because Justin
Yeah.
got me. So
There will be. It just won't be you sitting.
yeah, Gerard's not moving to Madison anymore. He's just taking over.
You got the keys to your house.
He's gonna sublet his apartment and take over my mortgage. So
Dude,
Real
did
estate.
someone, you guys up here ever get anybody give you drugs?
yeah, dude.
after
Did
the
I?
show?
Occasionally.
Did I say it on the? I don't know if I said it on the show. So, not this Wednesday of recording, but the Wednesday before, I went to the open mic.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I did a whole set about because I did a set about the last time I got really drunk, and I was like, I'm done drinking, blah blah blah. Like leaned into sobriety, like in a
What a
joke
loser.
thing. I get off fucking stage. And this guy comes up to me who went up, is his first time ever.
Yeah.
And was like, great set, man. Do you want some mushrooms? And I'm like,
Kind of a weird move for
what
a first
the fuck
timer.
did you hear me say?
Yeah.
That made you think
He
that,
told me that, and I was like, it's cool how he was like, this guy needs them.
Yeah.
This guy needs
A
mushrooms.
lot of people use mushrooms to stop drinking.
Yeah,
Really?
That is
Yeah.
a thing, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
maybe
okay.
he was trying to be helpful.
Well, thanks.
I think he
thanks.
just heard about your kid, and he was like, this guy needs to escape reality.
He's like, give
for
this
a
to your
bit.
kid.
That's
Yeah. Give
Yeah.
it to a 10-month-old. see
I've
how
heard
she-
of how
Yeah.
much of a problem
Grind
that
'em
kid
up.
has.
Grind him up and put him in its bottle.
Yeah.
yeah.
But it was very funny. I've
Well,
been offered
you-
drugs other than that too, but that was the funny one. Anyway.
Obviously, we've talked like how you having a kid impacts your
Yes.
stand up and stuff, and how difficult that is. But Andrew, you have kids as well.
Yeah.
I mean, is that ever like? Obviously, they're a part of your material too, which is
Yeah.
amazing. I mean, were you apprehensive about that, like including them in your jokes, or were you like, no, that's what this is for. This is great material.
That's why you have
I
kids
think
as a comedian.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know why.
Yeah. I mean, it's hilarious. That's why.
I need to
'Cause it
stop
crushes.
saying people's actual names in jokes. I know that, especially my children. That's not good.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
probably
don't say-
Children's names.
that's probably weird. Yeah.
He goes to
He
Clark's middle school.
He unfolds a picture of him on stage. He's like, "This is my son."
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be bad. That could be.
I
bad.
probably should quit using my daughter's name on stage
Shout
Yeah.
out, baby OJ. Your
and on our podcast.
kids, though, the
Baby
material.
OJ.
Yeah, baby OJ.
That's your
That's her name.
Have you not
It's
heard?
OJ.
You haven't heard the joke.
yeah.
We don't call her OJ, but I have a whole
I do.
joke
Oh, you should.
predicated
do.
on the OJ premise. Yeah.
It's Olivia. Yeah, yeah. I won't do the middle name, but yeah, it's OJ. Her initials are OJ.
OJ.
Yeah.
Nice.
Shout out, baby OJ.
I'm assuming not after the prolific rusher.
That was.
You call
You
it?
don't strike me as a sports guy.
What a wild top credit for OJ Simpson.
Prolific
You're like, you know,
rusher.
the yards.
Yeah.
What do you know him for?
Really, I'm just I'm a really big fan of Hertz
book?
and he had a really good ad campaign. So.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
true. He had a couple rap songs released too, OJ.
Yeah.
A couple music videos. Yeah,
The
The Juice Is
Naked
Loose,
Gun.
great song.
I'm such a fucking
Naked Gun,
He
yeah.
said,
So good.
he said hurts. I'm like
Naked
the car
Gun.
rental?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have not heard the joke I make. I don't. You may have because I probably did it at Alley Ray's and you probably forgot about it because it's not that great of a joke. But yeah,
Correct.
it's a whole joke.
Yeah.
And
We don't retain anything you say typically. I know I don't. I try to forget most of the things we talk about on this show. Dead air. And counting.
We're still going. Okay,
Okay,
so I'll
yeah.
fill the I'll fill the dead air. Michael fucking made us go smoke weed a mile away at a
Yeah.
fucking park before this.
Sure did.
Yeah, there's fucking THCA is
Yes.
is legal
Yeah.
we could smoke that.
Yeah.
Not
They're
not
gonna
around
know the difference.
Not around his
Sure
baby.
is.
They're not. Is the baby here?
Not
That's
at
what I'm
home.
fucking saying, dude. We had to go to the park where it's government-owned land. We're like, this is a safe place for us to do
OJ
drugs.
had to leave.
Well, you asked where can we smoke? I'm like, well, this park like a mile away.
You
So
can get the
I'm-
fuck away from my house.
yeah, I'm sorry.
good
I don't
option.
want you smoking weed at a stop sign in front of my house by all of my neighbors.
By the
we could
way,
have done it on your porch like normal people. Well, we're from the city. I don't know.
I offered to let you guys use the living room. He vetoed.
Yeah.
this is
Why
the
don't you
So I understand not in the house. I
cut
get
that? Hold on. Cut that right there.
What'd he say?
They just
I missed
gave
it.
my fucking address.
Oh yeah, yeah. Cut him.
Yeah, fuck
Whoops.
with, we'll dox you, dude.
Yeah.
Whoopsie.
Fuck with us, dude. We'll dox your ass.
Jesus.
Probably gotta.
Yeah, give out his social on the air.
That's my bad.
Drop the ball. You remember that thing you were saying
I
about
was
not
just talking
saying
about the
people's
kids.
names?
Yeah, yeah.
Also put address in that
Hey,
category.
all the streets around here are crazy, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the other one that was like Street Road or
Yeah.
something? What the fuck was that?
Yeah, there's a
Like,
lot
who
of weird
named
names.
this?
Yeah.
Street Road.
Street Drive.
Drive.
Street
That's what
Drive.
it was.
Yeah, Street Drive. Yeah. It's a fun place. Do you guys do Blue Ridge a lot, which obviously everybody who listens to this show is familiar with Blue Ridge. Do you enjoy coming up for that? I know we were talking on the Gerard episode. You guys have unbelievable luck in coming to Blue Ridge when there's nobody there.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
it's every time it just works out.
Tyler
that way.
Gallant loves it.
Yeah, he does. Rest in peace. It's a shame he's
Yeah.
gone, huh?
Yeah.
That's what everybody tells us every time we come up. It's not. I mean, I still have fun
Yep.
up there.
Oh, it's so much
good,
fun.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
seeing you guys, and I mean,
Yeah.
it's good like having a crowd that isn't like the normal crowd.
Yeah.
For-
Well,
You,
that's a
uh,
good point too. How different do you think? Because I do time in Knoxville now a lot too, and I notice the difference between the crowds. I mean, is there anything that you guys notice about like a Bristol crowd? Are they more conservative? You think that's kind of how I?
I
always
don't
feel
think
about
they're
it.
concerned. Honestly, at the club, they seem to be a little more liberal.
You think so?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, they like,
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah.
kinda do crazy stuff, man. They get a little wild.
Yeah.
But no, it's chill. I think like our shows, a lot of young people, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in a
That's
college
true.
town. There's a lot of like younger people.
Yeah.
People. I'd say the age range of people that come to our shows are like, 21 to like 35 for the most
Yeah.
part. We get
Yeah.
some old people sprinkled.
I'd
in.
say a lot of people come out to like Blue Ridge or
Older.
older
Little
demographic.
older.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the Don't Tell like is kind of the avenue for a lot of y'all's shows too, and I feel like that attracts a younger crowd. Like older people wouldn't even fucking know how to get a ticket for
The
Don't Tell.
clips
Some
and
of them.
everything.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The clips, the Instagram.
It's
So it
not
draws that
targeted
crowd.
toward them. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I just want to acknowledge why I waved and smiled to nothing.
You don't have to.
I do.
Oh,
I just
Jesus
feel weird if I
fucking
don't
Christ.
bring it up. You
His
know.
beautiful family came home.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, after 6 months, she finally decided to give him another shot, and
Yeah.
that's exciting.
I haven't seen my daughter in a long time.
Yeah.
She looks different, so it could
Yeah.
be a different baby.
Yeah.
She's grown up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird. She's only a few weeks old, huh?
Yeah.
That's weird.
They grow at something like 0.0001 miles per hour or something like that. I think.
What are you?
What now?
What
I think that's how fast they grow.
Point
Is
zero
that it?
Look it
zero
up.
zero.
is that it?
I don't
I
even
don't know. Yeah, it's a lot of zeros.
How
Yeah.
quickly do babies grow in miles
In
per
miles
hour?
per hour.
Yeah, grass.
That's the. It's the most Andrew McAffrey
Fast-ass
contribution.
I don't even know how to Google that. Greg Payne said something very funny the first time he met my daughter. He's like, they don't dream for 4 months. I was like,
That's his first thought on him having a child. Not congrats, just yeah. They don't dream for 4 months. That's a
not
very
true.
Greg
Yeah.
thing.
They
Greg
latch a
says
tit.
it's true. Greg does a lot.
Maybe you'll latch a tit.
Oh, yeah.
does that mean they're dreaming?
What?
What?
Maybe that's what they're
Latch
dreaming
a
for.
tit?
I know what you're saying, but we're talking about
This
dreaming.
is so off the rail.
I was like,
Yeah.
drinking.
No, dreaming.
You
Yeah.
guys, accents. I'm high.
Yeah.
All I can think about is before I came in here, we saw a woodpecker.
That's all you're thinking
There was
about?
a woodpecker across the street on the tree, and I was like, dude, I wonder how rampant CTE is in the woodpecker community. Their whole life is just banging their head against shit, dude. I can't stop thinking about it. I told him, I was like, dude, that woodpecker is going to murder its family
Yeah.
and hang itself in its weight room.
That's the most off the rail things I think I've
I've
ever heard
always
in my
said
life.
like my brain trails
love it.
sometimes to weird places, but that might be a new height of like, where is your head right now? I'm thinking about that woodpecker over there, like just murdered its family and stuff.
Where do you get material?
Apparently not the right fucking places.
I think
That's
I think
incredible.
you truly could make a joke out of what you just said.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
woodpecker CTE epidemic is pretty funny for sure.
That's
yeah.
The woodpecker
insane
looked like
premise.
it
Yeah.
forgot how to do what it's supposed to do a little bit.
It did look a little fucked
Was it
up.
struggling?
slow.
And that loose ass neck just.
Yeah.
Past its Pecker Prime. I don't know.
Its neck had definitely gone soft.
Do you happen to know how many miles per hour they grow?
Oh,
a
I don't
woodpecker?
know.
Is it?
You haven't Googled that one before?
No.
Slower than babies,
no.
I would imagine. They're pretty small.
I'd imagine faster. than
It's
a
not
baby
worth
would.
it. They all die young.
Speaking of
CT.
speaking of material, you guys, I feel like you two have very different comedic styles and approaches, but you do so many shows together and stuff. I mean, like with the difference between you two, what do you all think it is? Because you all spend a lot of fucking time together, obviously.
What we think it is, what?
Why you're different?
No,
like
yeah,
your
like
comedic styles.
Yeah, like the difference in styles, and I think that makes for great shows when both of you are on it, because I feel like the crowd gets a different perspective. You know, sometimes you ever like see a lineup of comedians and it's kind of like the same person 5 times.
Yeah.
Like that diversity is fun, I think, to the crowd.
We definitely have different styles, like
Yeah.
deliveries, and like when we're up there, like I'm a little more energetic, he's a little more deadpan.
Yeah.
But like I would say in terms of what we think is funny and our like material, like we're both like we both say kind of fucked up stuff.
You guys could,
we're
like-
similar in that vein,
Yeah.
but he has like family material and stuff. Like I don't have a family, I'm fucking lonely. So.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
You guys could
I
take,
have
like-
sad material.
He had a good time in his 20s, is what it was.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
That is it.
I was responsibly drunk.
Yeah.
You have also like I'm gonna shout out my girlfriend real quick. You have my girlfriend's favorite joke of all time, Andrew.
Oh,
that she
God.
quotes regularly. Your homeless pillow fight.
Oh,
joke.
yeah.
the
Oh,
one
that's
where
like
you
my
quote.
favorite joke.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
It's like once a week that she's like every
at the
time we
camera?
see a homeless person, she's like, yeah, this guy right here. He loves the
Yeah,
unhoused.
Nathaniel.
Just look down barrel the whole time.
That's right.
Yeah. It's gonna make a great
Next
clip.
question.
Just realized he's been back facing the camera.
Yeah.
I've been trying to
Hilarious.
subtly tell him.
21 minutes in, you finally see
Yeah.
Andrew.
Hell yeah.
Andrew turned 40 this year,
We
dude.
can
Like,
figure it
we
Yeah.
went to the gas station earlier and he tried to buy a fucking newspaper.
They're $4.49 now. What the
Jesus
fuck?
$4 for a fucking newspaper.
That's crazy.
Dude, if you told me it was 50 cents, I'd be like, ah, damn inflation.
Yeah.
But
That's a lot of money.
fucking dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
and he was looking at it like,
It's a lot of money for something your cat's just probably
I'll
gonna
buy the
piss
game
on
day
in the
ones
end.
when those happen on the football
Sure,
Saturdays.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, after we beat the Gators.
Yeah.
That's an instant purchase.
Bold claim right there.
I don't know if I've ever bought a newspaper in my life before.
How old are you?
I'm 28.
Yeah.
I've read a newspaper, but I don't think I've ever actually bought it.
We used to get them delivered to my house when I
You
was a
should've
kid.
bought
I would do
one
the
by now.
crossword and then I'd throw it away. That's
Yeah.
what I
What?
would do.
After getting
Oh,
like
yeah.
one word.
Just I would get like one
Yeah.
word and be like, "Fuck,
Dude, I don't
nobody knows this shit."
Why do they make it so fucking hard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know
Look
if
at
I've
last
ever
week's
completed
answers.
a
Like I knew
crossword.
that one. I knew that one.
Yeah.
Jesus. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
Justin, I don't know a lot about you, truth be told.
That makes one of us. All right, moving on.
What got you into comedy? You probably talked about it on your like initial episode, but I wasn't here for it. So
Yeah, we get to talk shit about
What
it.
got me into it? Well, I mean, I've been into comedy like forever since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I watched it and shit. But as far as like performing, I ate 7 grams of mushrooms on the beach in Clearwater Beach.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went to Side Splitters in Tampa and saw Shane Gillis like 3 months before he recorded his live in Austin.
Yeah.
In like a little shitty room. And
Yeah.
He just tore the roof off the place. And then we somehow ended up getting hammered at the bar with him afterwards. And he was like, I just told him that I'd always thought about it. I was like, I don't think I could do it. And he was like, you should go to an open mic. You will not be the worst person there.
Yeah.
So I was like,
That's
I
good
was on
advice.
mushrooms. So I was like, I'll do that.
sounds like you had like a pretty like euphoric experience just on mushrooms, seeing a
was-
crazy headliner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, he fucking crushed. And then the next night we saw Tim Dillon in the same room.
Oh,
so
wow.
It was like, I saw
Back to
both those
back.
Yeah, and it was like both, like,
God.
they were both had their specials like tightened up.
Yep.
They were about to record them. So it was like perfect.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then that room is insane. It's like a shithole in the best way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like comedy in like
Like a
dark,
wild
dingy
place,
room.
yeah,
yeah,
It was
yeah.
awesome, man. And then like that Florida energy, they were like late shows.
Oh yeah.
So I had living in Knoxville, like we had a club when I was younger, but when I grew up, like it went away. So I had really only seen comedy in like theater settings. So when I saw that, I was like,
Super different.
oh shit, dude, this is just me fucking around with my boys, dude. You know, like
Yeah, on
it's like,
stage,
see,
I
I'll see what's
love
going on.
comedy in a club. I've seen comedy in theaters too, but I love to see a comedian in a club.
Well, I think that's what makes Don't Tell so special too, like that intimacy that you get from
Yeah.
it, especially when sometimes there's not even a fucking stage. Like the headliner's 2 feet away from the front row. Oh, that's so awesome.
there's just like a fun energy when 100 people are laughing that it's it's still there when there's 3,000 people laughing, but it's just
different.
a different
It's way
energy.
It's different.
It's like
Yeah.
you're watching a presentation more so than
Yeah.
than you're being a
Yeah.
part of a conversation is what it feels like when you're in a small one.
Yeah.
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 And, dude, we actually had a Don't Tell last night. It was 130 people, and it was cool in that regard that like everybody was packed in, and the headliner we had was Shaunak Godkindi.
Yeah.
He's from Atlanta. He's a monster, dude. He's so
That's what
funny.
Gerard said. Yeah.
And he actually has his Don't Tell special, or I guess it's set. It's like a 10-minute set
Yeah.
that they do, the secret set.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
coming out on Monday.
Perfect.
So when
Perfect
Gerard
timing.
introed him last night, he was like, this guy has a Don't Tell special coming out this Monday that you can check out on our YouTube. And he's everybody in the front row was like, what?
Yeah.
Like we're getting this in
That's
Knoxville,
awesome.
So
Yeah.
that's, man.
That's and we talked about it on the show too, even when you were on, and I've talked about it every fucking episode. But when you had Sam Talent at at French Fried Vintage, that was kind of the reaction I saw too. Like obviously the intro, we told that story. The intro got a little screwed up. It was hilarious. But when the crowd put together who the actual headliner is, I watched people look at each other like, "Can you believe that we're here for this right now?" That's the coolest thing ever to see a crowd have that moment. It's awesome.
I think that's what we're gonna get in April with the guy
For sure.
coming. Then you guys gotta come down to that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
It's a
sure.
monster. We're hoping it's an early show. It's like 7:30, so we're hoping to sell it out and add a second one. 'Cause,
One
Cool.
day.
Cool.
I mean, it's April 21st.
April
So,
21st.
Yeah, the day after
Yeah.
Nashville Comedy Festival. He's
That's all.
popping up here.
Perfect.
But dude, yeah. I just honestly I want to add a second show just to see him do 2 sets.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
See if it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because some
Yeah.
of these people you book and it's like, I'm a fan of yours. Like,
For sure, yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
watch you work.
Well, Sam, like I read his book years ago for the first time, like right around the time it came out, and like, I knew Kyle Kinane a little bit too, and I knew he did the foreword for the book, so I read it and loved it way before I ever thought about doing stand up. And then once I started doing time on stage and stuff, I started rereading all the stand up books I'd read and more, and it was so weird to like actually get the. We kind of hung with him like a little bit afterwards. He stuck around and talked to us, and he was just a normal dude, which was weird, but it was cool to see like so many people. There's so many copies of his book there that night, like every bro had one in their back pocket trying to get him to sign it. It was cool. Yeah. And he's another one, like an influence of mine way before I started stand up. Andrew, do you have what are some influences of yours? Because we've talked about Justin's in the past, but like some comics that you watched when you were younger that either you liked or maybe like your family, it made them laugh. Was there anybody that sticks out?
My family wasn't ever really into comedy, but
Really?
He said that so sadly.
Yeah.
They're like, Andrew, stop with your jokes.
He's like, there was no laughing in
enough.
my home.
Yeah.
Back to cleaning.
Well,
we've
we've
talking
even
about my
had
childhood instead. That was
Yeah.
weird.
we've even had when Joey Gray was on, he mentioned like Three Stooges. We've had people shout out SNL, different skit was there any kind of funny or even sitcoms like classic TV sitcoms in your house or anything like that?
Look like a Family Matters fan to me.
I mean, I watched TGIF when that was huge, like Full House, Family Matters.
Yeah.
Step by Step, all in a row, and then a
Hell
fourth
yeah.
show that was a black cast that always got canceled at 9:30. The 9:30 slot. I was like, what the fuck?
They couldn't keep
Dougie
it
Doug
on?
couldn't make it happen. It sucked. He had a show, man. I wanted to make it, but
Dougie Doug, you watched the pilot? You're a big fan of that?
oh yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. So sitcoms,
But,
obviously, yeah. And then at what point do you find like stand up specifically? Because it sounds like you had to kind of find it on your own.
Yeah.
I kind of relate to that too. But like,
Yeah.
what was there a friend who was like, dude, check this guy out or something like that? Was there a
Not
moment?
necessarily. I just kind of stumbled on Letterman on my own in the summers when I was young. and I would
Perfect.
stay up past midnight.
Yeah.
That's right around the time I got introduced to Norm and Saturday Night Live, and
Mhm.
of course Norm's my idol.
He's your
Uh,
all time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We've had a few. I mean, he's a pretty common answer from
Yeah.
guests.
He's a good
too.
one to have.
He's a huge one. Yeah.
Rory Scovel is really one of my favorite comedians ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
We talked about him with Brian, I think, last week. Brian, yeah. Roy is another one of those where it's like, it's sort of like Sam Talent. I would put him in that conversation where the casual comedy fan may not necessarily know them for some reason, but like if you know comedy, Rory Scovel is hilarious. Yeah,
So
I'm honest.
unique.
Y-
Shaunak
Yeah,
that we
for
were talking
sure.
about, he actually opens for Rory.
Gotcha. Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
So I mean, you
That's
can
awesome.
imagine the energy.
Yeah,
and,
sure. Yeah.
And you can't like put a finger on what his style is. It's just like
It's him.
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, it's wild.
very
Super
unique.
weird. Yeah. With him too, with Roy, I mean, I think I see definitely Norm I see in your material. Like we've
Yeah.
talked about that on the show, influences that make it in. And Roy, I see that too. Like there's almost it's all factual based, but there's an absurdity to it too that he does so well. And I kind of see that in your stuff too. Is there anybody else that you think is like maybe not just an influence, but is kind of a part of your comedic style in that genre? Because obviously when we had Gerard on, he mentioned that like Dane Cook is not necessarily his cup of tea. And I see that. Like when I see Gerard, I don't really see any connection to Dane's style.
yeah.
You a big Bill Cosby fan? Is what I'm asking. That's what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah, the
You know,
sweaters.
the sweaters.
The
that checks out.
personality.
Yeah.
You know?
America's Dad, they call you.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that guy.
Yeah, that's good. That's good that you're taking
that's
a
a good person
stand
to not be a
That's my
fan
stance.
of.
against Bill Cosby.
Nathaniel is his biggest fan, so
Yeah.
What are you trying to get laid, dude?
Yeah.
If Bill Cosby's touring again,
He's
which
asking
he
me
is,
this, and he looks like he trains pedophiles in that outfit with that Lions Club hat on.
it's Goodwill. Shout out to Travis Stevenson.
Nice.
If Bill Cosby was touring, would you go see him? You think? No.
I might. I bought a Cleveland Indian shirt yesterday. I might.
He really did. He really did. It was
Yeah.
it's like, oh, dude, I'll wear my Redskins shirt. You can wear your Indian shirt.
Hell
We'll
yeah.
just fucking.
We'll just ruin comedy for
That's
Knoxville.
awesome. Yeah. That's beautiful.
get the whole city canceled. I love it.
That's history, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's history.
that's just history.
That's heritage for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
That's heritage. Yeah.
Say their name, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Oh no.
I've also seen though. I mean, some of your material I've seen like at the roast battle. Justin and I talked about. You gave a wild shout out, like a local Knoxville roast that I didn't personally understand because I don't watch the news that comes out of Knoxville. And then I went up to Justin immediately and was like, this crowd is melting right now. Why is that so? Like, when did this happen? And Justin was like 2 days ago. Like, this was not that long ago that you're making fun of something super sensitive to the city of Knoxville. Are you scared in that moment to do that, or has it just come natural? Like,
Wait, what happened?
Just to clarify, he made fun of a homeless lady that froze to death. Now, granted, she was the most terrifying homeless lady. Oh, wait, my bad. Unhoused. She was the most terrifying unhoused lady.
Right.
But,
Jesus Christ.
well, it was wild because
The crowd
she
loved
really
it.
did make people fear for their safety and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
And everyone hated her. But not to speak ill of the dead, but right after that happened, everyone was like, she was such a beacon of the community. It was like, you guys are full of shit.
right.
Just 'cause she
And then
died,
Andrew proved it.
Yeah, because he talked shit about her and they loved it for it.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, it was awful.
Well, that's an example.
Michael can't believe it.
it was funny. It was horrifying. For sure.
That's definitely something.
I did not know that this was that. I had no idea that that's where that was gonna go. I'm like, what could have happened? Like,
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's
it.
not where my expectations were. What did you say?
Out of context, though, for somebody listening, that feels, especially if you're not a comedy fan, you would go, "Why would anybody ever do that?" But again, if you're in that room, those people lost it.
Yeah,
they laughed so hard, they had such a good time because it's like that release. Andrew, when you're doing something like that, is it frightful for you at all, or you're just like, "This is me"? I mean, they're gonna laugh, obviously.
Not anymore, really.
Yeah.
You know, if you've done it enough and you've
Right.
lost everything that's important to you in your life, you don't give a shit anymore, folks.
Yeah. You just swing for the fences.
You're right.
Yeah.
What are they gonna do? Take my kids again?
Yeah, right?
Jesus.
Hell yeah.
That's true. When you have nothing to lose, I guess. There you go.
Well, the crazy thing about it is the type of person that Andrew is.
Yeah.
He would have helped that lady before anyone else in the room. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right.
it's just a weird.
Yeah, and even though obviously he's been harassing Michael, which I appreciate. but
Yeah,
even
I
though-
appreciate it. I needed to be humbled.
Yeah, and we talk about before you saying outlandish shit all the time makes me laugh, but it's that weird thing of once you get to know a person and they're such a good person, you get away with it. Crowds don't know that about you though. Have you ever had a crowd turn on you where I even suffer from some of my material? I feel makes a crowd think I'm an asshole. I have that stuff that I'm they don't like.
I mean, that's
me
pretty
as a
spot
person.
on. I feel like.
Yeah, and if they get to know me, they'd be correct in that assumption. Whereas with you, they'd be incorrect. Is what
I
I'm
think it's
saying.
literally about how I deliver it. I think I used to deliver these slower and sadder, and I've gotten better. It's showing I'm really Mr. Energy right now.
Yeah,
But yeah,
all energy. That's what they say.
It's higher than used. I got my
You got your podcast energy on.
Yeah.
My SSRI levels right. And I started getting better.
That's good.
Hell yeah.
Did you just do a plug for SSRIs? You look at the
Yeah,
camera.
shout out.
You do
That's
that?
all right. I mean, those are
Yeah.
Alexa, where you at?
Is that,
Smash that subscribe button, Wellbutrin.
you're going to get a sponsor out of this. Yeah. Would you be the first comedian sponsored by a depression drug, do you think?
I think
couldn't be.
No way.
I think 95% of comedians are powered by
I mean
depression
an
drugs.
open sponsorship where they're funding your travels. You're
Yeah.
doing shows for Wellbutrin.
I mean,
Would you do a corporate gig for an SSRI?
I would do
oh,
I would do a corporate gig for Purdue Pharma if they paid me enough. I think.
Yeah.
And they got the money.
They do. They definitely do. Yeah.
Somehow they still
Have
have the money.
Have you guys done corporate gigs at all?
Fuck no.
Have you
No,
heard?
yeah,
have you
not
heard
yet.
Justin's material one time?
Not yet.
No, I'm
I
not.
mean, well,
Nothing again. I'm not saying like I'm
God, he's
just.
fucking asking.
well,
for
I'm
it.
not-
I've been asked to do
Really?
like, yeah, I mean,
It's a
not
different
like
thing.
private parties.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
I mean, no, it works in like ad agencies, like bro.
Yeah.
Any like bro type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't
Car
saying
salesman.
that like he wasn't funny. I'm just saying
Well,
like.
no, I get what you're. It's
Yeah.
mostly clean people do get
Well,
those shows.
we had Brian
but-
Morton on last week, and Brian talked pretty like at length about the corporate gigs he does, and
does,
that makes
yeah.
sense. When you see Brian's
Yeah,
material,
yeah.
like that makes sense. They feel comfortable having him there. They know he's going to stay within a certain range. Andrew, you're not doing no corporate gigs, no?
No, probably
You know?
not.
Probably not.
It's just like all you hear is horror stories about it.
Yeah,
They
Yeah.
pay well, but
Yeah,
you
they pay
bomb.
well,
Yeah.
yeah.
You
That's
just
what everyone
eat
says.
shit.
It's all
yeah.
about the money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I think
I would
clean
do- I
shows
would
are kind
do
of the
it.
same
Sure,
way. Clean shows
absolutely.
pay well.
Before we like move on, I do want to say something. You're talking about Andrew being just a genuinely nice person. I will say I do believe that 99% of comedies are just genuinely nice people, and they have
Yeah.
an act on stage. Like I'm kind of an asshole on stage too, you know, and I feel like.
Yeah, and you're the 1% also, which
Shut
is
up.
convenient.
But you know what I mean? I feel like, and Justin, you know, we give each other a lot of shit. That's kind of our relationship from the three
You don't
times
have
we've
a
ever
relationship.
interacted. But
Yeah.
I feel like you're a genuinely nice person. And I feel like if audiences go into, like, I feel like it would be important if audience goes into shows just like, hey, these are actually nice people just being assholes to make me laugh. And I feel like, I don't know.
Well, Knoxville, y'all touched on the scene too and the crowds, and I've told y'all this off mic a bunch. Every time I go down there, I feel like y'all have 15 of the same faces in your crowds. Like you have these repeat crowd members that love you all and come out and are almost like, I feel like I see them as much as I see you all almost. You know, there's a few, like you got some wild characters
We
in
got
your
some
crowd.
wild
too.
characters,
Yeah,
dude.
it is like the cast of The Simpsons down there. Everybody's like all dressed up. You got a little a counterfeiter. Shout out to that guy. That's cool.
The Picasso of counterfeiting. Shout out to my boy Jeff Turner. What's up? You can, you can
What's
see him on DJ Vlad.
That's getting bleeped.
real quick?
No,
Do I
bleep
need?
it, dude. That motherfucker. He goes on podcasts.
All right, that's
Yeah,
fair.
Do I need to bleep the name or no?
No.
So
he would
what's
love the
Jeff-
promotion.
What does Jeff Turner do?
He's not.
He's looking to
Counterfeit.
push
He,
this.
he went to jail for I think like a year or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he counterfeited like $3 million.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they literally called him the Picasso of counterfeiting.
Yeah.
Like he
That's-
found out like exactly how to do it, and then he just comes to our shows.
Yeah.
But
That's
he's
like
pretty
one
chill.
of 20 characters
Yeah,
in their
yeah, yeah.
audience that I'm like, that dude's wild.
Is he
He's a
just an
man, though.
audience member or just comic?
Audience member.
Never
I'm
gone
sure
up.
that guy has some fucking stories. Get him on
Oh, yeah,
stage,
yeah,
dude.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
He's
yeah,
wild.
He's a wild
Can
He
we
also
get this
got
guy on the
destroyed by
podcast?
Sam Talent.
Dude,
yeah.
he would
Jeff-
be a great podcast.
He would,
guest.
dude.
Yeah, he would. Yeah.
Yeah.
would. He was
I don't
telling
know.
me- he
I
was
don't know if I
telling
want
me-
a felon in my home.
Yeah.
I'm just be honest. H has already given my address out, so
Right,
yeah.
yeah.
That's true. He'll find
just
us.
show up.
Again, that's,
Yeah.
Get your
But I mean,
pencils
do
out.
you all obviously you've created this environment where people not only want to come out and see you, but they're like I said, almost like a part of the shows at this point, that cast. How long did that take for you all to establish that? Because that's something that I don't know. We've shouted out my boy Nick on the show before. He's like my favorite crowd member at Blue Ridge. He comes all the time.
Yep.
And he's one of the rare crowd members who's super supportive, super fun, but has no ambition of doing comedy. You know, there's
Yeah,
people who
yeah.
hang around, but really they secretly want to go up. There's a lot of that. But you guys have so many that like I don't guess they're ever going to do time. Did that take? Was that something you've seen grow over the time that you've been doing comedy there?
For sure.
Yeah.
For
How
sure.
how long have you been in the comedy scene in Knoxville? Just for the audience
I've been
and
doing
for me.
comedy a little over 2 years.
Okay,
Yeah.
I wasn't
just
sure.
hit 2 years in October. So
So what did you do for the 4 years before Justin came along? Did you just?
well, I was drinking, and then
there's always been like
Sure.
funny,
Hard
funny
in the
people.
background.
Yeah.
There's
he
so
came
many funny
around
people.
basically when there was like a exodus of like 3 of my best friends moving to Austin. And,
Perfect.
We just
How are they
we
doing?
clicked immediately.
The three friends with Austin, are they doing good?
Very well.
All three
yeah.
of them are doing pretty
Yeah.
good down
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
sounds.
Lucas McQuarrie is probably the most successful independent producer. in
You
the
don't think
country.
Tyler Gallant? You wouldn't say he's the most.
Tyler-
I mean,
he's-
considering he's lived there for like a day, probably not. Yes.
Tyler's already taken over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He runs that town. Yeah.
He went down there and his fucking job immediately shipped him to Florida when he got to Austin.
No
So
way.
He immediately had to go to Florida for like a week. How funny is that?
That is
It's
so
like I'm
funny.
about to cut my teeth in this open mic scene. They were like,
Yeah.
"Enjoy Palm Beach, retard." Shake your head, but don't bleep it. It's
You
fine.
also. Oh, it's getting amped. I'm
Don't
turning
be
the
a
volume
coward.
up.
You're the one getting canceled on that one, not me. I didn't laugh.
He'll be fine.
specifically
Come on
for-
down to Knoxville, dude. They let the retards fly.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can say whatever you want. It's a fun scene. Tyler also on the show mentioned how much time he thought he could do, and he told me afterwards, Justin, that you approached him and you were like, "Hey, let's see that time." Yeah, you gonna do that 28 minutes or whatever?
Well,
it
he
was?
said he could do 30 minutes. I mean, dude, me and Tyler travel.
Yeah,
Together,
yeah.
before we move. So it's like, I know how much time we both have. And it's
Yeah.
like, he could do 30 minutes.
Sure.
But like,
He's whipping out some poems
tight-
toward the end.
I was like, bro, I know, like, if he's holding himself to the standard that I know he holds himself,
Yeah.
to,
Right,
he's
right.
not gonna enjoy that 30. You know what I mean? So no, before the roast battle, I was like, hey, will you warm him up with that tight 25? He was like, fuck you,
Savage. Yeah.
How much time could you do, Justin?
and be happy with it.
Yeah.
And be happy in total. Like,
The crowd be happy.
yeah.
Because I feel like your number for yourself
mean,
is probably lower than the crowd having a
I've-
good time.
I've done 30 before, and that was kind of a nightmare. I was really stretched. That was a while ago.
That's a
dude.
lot
I
of time.
could probably do a better job at it now, but that I would be completely satisfied with, I think 15.
15.
15,
That's a good number.
maybe 20.
Yeah.
But
Andrew, what about you?
Yeah.
Probably 15's the number.
Yeah.
That is.
Really?
Yeah, I think
Well,
so.
you-
I've
and-
seen
I
you
don't- I
do
don't-
more than 15.
Yeah, I don't know.
To be fair, we did just talk about
I
how
guess
that was
I
a bomb.
think-
But
Like I kind of compare it. Like I think like a 10 in Austin is like at least a 15 here. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
yeah,
Right.
I'd say
There's
a 5
different-
in Austin's like a 15
Sure.
here.
Yeah. Probably.
There's different
You know,
measures.
but,
Yeah. Well, you also, when we had Joe Bridges on, we talked a lot about his comedic style. And Joe is an exaggerated version of you, I think, in that like his jokes are very short form, super concise. And so 10 minutes to Joe is so many punchlines. It's
Yeah.
10 times the jokes. I think you're kind of in that realm too, where like 15 minutes for you, that's a lot of material
Yeah.
to remember. Yeah. I mean, do you, we watched you do maybe 40 minutes that time at LA Ray, something like that?
No.
It was like 30. I think you got booked for 40.
That was quick.
Absolutely not.
I think
Yeah.
he got booked for 45, but then the
I did.
audience got him off stage at 30.
Yeah.
you run?
It
I
was
don't
like
remember.
25.
Yeah.
It was
I do
not
just
good.
remember hugging you afterwards, and in my ear you said, "Is this so I don't kill myself?" Yeah, that was a fun. I still thought that was a fun show. It was fun to
fun
watch
show.
you work because even when the crowd's not on board, you're still you. You don't just
You were having a
tuck
good
tail
time,
and run.
yeah.
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 It was that was a
What are some of your?
Yeah.
Do you have any real highlights of? Obviously, you've been doing it for a long time now. Like 6 years is a long time compared to the rest of us in the room. Prior to Justin, and like you do a lot of don't tell shows, which are incredible. Is there anything back in the day that you that you remember that
I know,
was
right?
really fun at the time, or that sticks out as like a milestone for you in comedy?
There were no milestones then, probably. I
Okay,
don't think.
got it.
There are shows that I did with people who were like blowing up that I don't remember being on the show with. Laura Peak.
That's
I was
cool.
on a show with her. Apparently,
You think she remembers you being on
we
that
had, we
show?
had a we had a lineup of Laura Peak, Keith Marcel, Lucas McCrary, Darian Irwin, and
Wow.
me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. We talked about Keith a lot on
It
the
was
show
crazy.
too. Hopefully a future guest as well. Just hilarious. One of the funniest dudes. I think that I know, like on a personal level, probably one of the funniest comics.
Have you guys heard Darian?
No.
So he's from Knoxville. He moved to Austin. He's very funny. He was on Skankfest this year.
Oh shit.
So, dude, that was like a nasty lineup. You
That-
know?
yeah, that's awesome.
Lucas got fucking JFL.
Him I know. Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
to not remember that
Yeah,
You've had-
yeah,
sucks, dude.
that does.
Yeah,
That
that's a
And
does
then
shame.
Laura
suck.
Peak, you guys familiar with her?
The name I've heard a bunch.
Dude,
Yeah.
she's hilarious. She just
It's
dropped
crazy.
the Don't Tell like 10 minutes. You got to watch it.
Got
It's
it.
one of the best ones.
That's awesome.
She's very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything she says.
Don't Tell such a cool avenue too for that, like for putting out media, because up until more recently, it was like you get a Netflix deal, you get an hour, and you're 20 years into comedy by the time that happens. Now there's like, I mean, I don't know how long. How long would you say, just a guess, that like Laura's been doing comedy? Under 10 years, maybe.
Oh, I don't know.
Right around 10ish,
Yeah.
maybe. Like the path seems to have shortened somewhat to getting exposure.
Yeah, and-
Because you can do
Well,
so much
social
on your
media.
own.
What
I mean,
else?
Yeah. You can do so much.
Self-promotion, yeah. But
You
with
don't-
you have your own fans. You don't have to like
Right.
rely on somebody else. Like you don't have to rely on Comedy Central to bring
Yeah.
you fans. You can
Or an
create
agency.
your own fans.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
what's also cool about those Don't Tell things is it's only 10 minutes.
Right.
Like you can pop off a 10-minute clip, and then you still have material. You know? You don't have to burn all your stuff.
I've never been to a Don't Tell show before. Just gonna say that.
Dude, anytime you want to come to ours, brother, it's free.
Yeah.
Oh, hey,
I'll
cool.
comp your ticket.
I appreciate that.
And that goes for anybody listening also. No, I'm kidding. Yeah.
Justin Mays at gmail.com.
He's talking about the Johnson City one.
Yeah.
That's his.
Promo code JC. Yeah.
Question I was going to ask. I know it's in different venues, all that. The headliner, they do more than. How long does the headliner do? Like an hour? Or
Depends.
20,
normally
30.
20 minutes.
Really?
Like Sam Talent, we had 45. You gave him 45.
I truly thought
it's kind of like
that,
they do what they want, right? Like do 20 and then if you want to run it.
So how many people's on like a Don't Tell show?
I usually run one host and 6 comics.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have everybody do 10 minutes besides the last. Yeah, it's like a showcase.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought
It's
it was
super
like,
different.
I thought it was like a standard like club show almost. Like you have your, let's say you host. Yeah, Andrew, I open. Andrew or Nathaniel, a second opener. Andrew features on the.
Yeah, that's very different with the lineup stuff. I mean, also like we were talking earlier, the environment is different, and I think the crowd reacts in such a fun way to that showcase style because they get to see so many. Again, like kind of like I was saying with you all having different styles, they get to see 6 different unique comics, and maybe there's some overlap between the styles and stuff, but it's so much more fun that way, I think, than paying to see one headliner, which now if it's a good headliner, it's incredible. But then you also run the risk of like if they're having an off night or if the headliner's not great, you're like, damn, that ticket was a lot of money. You know, like more opportunity.
Keeps it fresh and exciting.
Yeah.
It's like you don't know who's coming up.
That's
like I
so
said with
cool.
the Shonic thing when they were like, oh my God, that guy's going to have like a special. Dudes.
Yeah. And
I didn't know
y'all also run the roast battle in Knoxville, which is crazy successful. I just did the last one. It's doing so well. Andrew, you reigning champ of that, which makes sense if you that checks out.
These guys suck, huh?
Yeah. Do you enjoy that? I mean, we asked Gerard about it, and he said above everything else, he thought it was a good writing exercise, which I agree with. I think it's awesome.
Always.
I mean, what is that roast process like for you? Do you like it as much as doing normal stage time? Or is it just different?
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like to think of it as like we talk about tools a lot and stuff like that, and having like a toolbox of all your different skills. I just feel like I can focus in on that one pretty good. I don't know, for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I think what you said to me one time when you did it afterwards, you were like, this is really cool because I don't feel like we're really having a battle. It's more like we're a team.
Yeah.
Which I think is cool. Like you guys go
Yeah.
up there as a team just to entertain the audience.
That's
a
true.
lot of people don't look at it like that. They're just like, oh, somebody's going to be mean to me. And it's like,
Yeah.
well, have a sense of humor.
Well,
you know, like you're a
that
comedian.
format also.
Yeah, if you can't take it, like if you can't be insulted to your face as a comedian, you're not.
It's going to be
can't
a
do
long
it.
road.
Yeah, like
yeah.
Because you're going to run into some fucking assholes that are going to tear you down.
Yeah.
Tell
Or
you
you're just
your
going to
hair
keep
looks like
asking
fucking-
for it on this. Oral beat. Yeah.
I want you to
It's
know,
gonna happen.
I got my hair cut the other day, and I almost just shaved it. It's been a lot lately.
I kind of want to deal with it
It's been the
anymore.
focus lately, and I almost
If
shaved
he shows
it.
up bald to open mic on Wednesday, I'll
Y'all
know.
got to me.
Oral B is the straw that broke the camel's back.
No,
That's-
Oral B was tame. It was the Viagra one that kind of like.
It's pretty good.
That got me
It's pretty
a
good.
little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
All
that-
toothbrushes get in free. Don't tell Knoxville, everybody. You heard it here first.
That's right.
You see a toothbrush in the back of the room, I went. So
That format too, the roast battle format, I think is kind of like you were saying with the team. In your case, you usually, I don't know if always, you let the comics know who they're going to be roasting ahead of time. So like I talked about it on the episode right after, Travis and I were roasting each other, and we kind of found out last minute there was like a substitute, there was a drop. So on the drive there, that's all we did was just make fun of each other and riff and like try to come up with something funny. I think that is the fun of it for me.
Yeah.
Because it's like, Travis and I had dinner together afterwards. We're not going to get pissed and hate each other. We're still friends, but like we can be very violently mean to each other for an hour. I think that's fun. Have you ever had a situation with roast battle where like it doesn't end well, or maybe like a comic or even a crowd member has a problem? Because I haven't experienced that at all with you all.
Has there been anything?
I thought you guys looked at each other, and I was like, oh, it's
Like
not
they're
with the
burying
roast battle.
secrets.
I know when we did the doubled up, I had to do it with that one guy that. Were you at that one? At
Was
the
it a
Fire Tavern? And then
Yeah.
I went up with the guy, and then he tried to turn it into a roast battle because he was bombing.
Oh yeah.
And he just started trying to insult me. Okay, so the doubled up is something that we do where we put 2 comedians on the stage and we just take crowd topics.
Yeah.
So there's no material. You just riff on whatever the crowd's saying. This guy was not hitting, and he was getting upset. He had been doing it like way longer than me, so he was getting upset that I was hitting and he wasn't.
Yeah.
So then he started trying to make fun of me.
To
So
get a
then-
laugh.
So then
Yeah.
I'm like, well, all right.
Yeah.
And I just fucking started attacking him,
Good.
dude. And the crowd's loving it. And he's like, well, Justin can't go live without attacking me. I was like, I was doing a pretty good job before you fucked up.
And if he started it too,
dude, but he does it. He had been doing comedy for like 10 years, and he just doesn't come around. Yeah, I like hurt him that bad. But I'm like, dude, you fucking
you started
Pandora's box.
Yeah. I did a doubled up one time, and the person I went up against, every time I opened my mouth, they cut me off.
I didn't know you did that.
One time I did it. I'll tell you about it later.
Did you do Justin's?
It was not in Knoxville.
Oh,
it was local.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And I did it one time, and every time I tried to riff on the topic, the other person on the stage cut me off and just started talking louder.
I could take
Was
a
it
guess.
Travis?
No. Travis was in the audience.
I did it with Travis one time, and I was just like, did you fucking do a line in the bathroom before you came? I was like, chill, dog.
Hot.
When he gets
came out
excited,
hot, dude.
when he gets excited, he's something else.
Yeah.
I love Travis so much. And he knows too. Like we had Amber Autry headline the club this weekend, who's fucking incredible. And he was so excited to be around her, as we all were. But we went to Blackbird afterwards, and he's just like crushing sugar left and right with these pastries, which just amplifies how insane he's
Travis
being.
energy,
And, and then afterwards he was like, I fucked it up again, didn't I? I definitely went too crazy.
He's the best.
I love
Oh,
Travis.
he's so
He's
self-aware
He's
too.
Get out of his head, dude.
Yeah.
He's fun to talk to and be around.
I really think Travis is gonna be like a maybe not a household name, but a household comedian. Like people who are into comedy, he's gonna be like a household name.
I think of our scene, he has probably some of the most potential around here. Like just that he's Travis, and there's you'll never see him not be himself ever. Like he's never shifting.
Travis is just like one of the most genuinely funny, inside and out people.
Fun to talk to, unique experiences. You know, his like upbringing, so he's a cool guy.
Well, you all have had a lot of people, while we're talking about like, you know, quote unquote making it, you guys have had several comedians from your scene relocate recently. You know, Gerard's piecing out on you and Tyler's gone.
Leanne Morgan came out.
You've had several come and go. A
couple years before
and
you
that's
guys.
Obviously, that's the path.
Henry Cho,
You can't necessarily like become a household name in Knoxville. So, I mean, that's the path for you all, right? Eventually.
I mean, Henry Cho and Leanne Morgan did it.
Did I accidentally talk shit about somebody?
No. I'm just thinking of all the fucking terrible comedians that were around before me that released like 5 albums that nobody listened to.
It's a tough path.
Linger in the fucking
You can find
Facebook
it on Pandora.
On Shuffle, it
on
comes up,
Pandora. Is that what you said? Not even Spotify?
Some of these fellas are on Pandora. Yeah, this is wild.
Sirius XM. Yeah, that's rough.
No, you get paid for Sirius XM. I don't think you get paid on Pandora.
What's the word on the street?
These dudes are not getting paid. I can assure you that.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
so
do you all
funny.
see relocation obviously is in the future if you want to keep pursuing? Is Austin like, Austin's kind of the beacon of comedy right now, but is there anywhere else besides Austin that sticks out to you? Of like,
well, I think that relocation, it depends on what your end goal is.
right.
So like Andrew, for instance, he has children and stuff, so he can't just uproot his children and everything. But like Andrew lives in a spot where we're like centrally located to a lot of bigger cities, so he can do that in Knoxville. And I think he wants to write more than anything.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Be like a
like
writer
that side
for
of it
like
too.
SNL or like
my dream job
show.
was to be like either update or like
a staff writer.
Late
God,
night,
the weekend update.
like late night monologue.
Shit.
I think you would write.
It's pretty gay now, but
I didn't know that about you because I share that too. Like the writing is really what I enjoy the most about stand up. And I've talked to some of our headliners. We had a great headliner, actually Kevin McAffrey, oddly enough, hilarious dude. And he used to write for a bunch of True TV shows and I think SNL at one point, different stuff or late night. And I got to talk to him a little bit about the writing side of things. And that's not super common. Like with, especially comics at our level, they want to be on stage most of the time, but I'm with you. Like I really like the writing side of stuff.
I'm not a big. I don't like the writing side.
It shows.
I've told. Well,
do you?
It does.
It shows.
Yeah. Do you? Is there like a specific writer that sticks out to you as well? Because that's a different influence.
Comedic?
That's a very different influence than actual stand-up comic. But there's writers who are pretty famous and like prolific for.
I would say
writing.
real quick before you answer, like your style on like the weekend update. I think that's the best.
Yeah.
I think. Oh my god, dude! I think that's the best thing I've ever heard.
Would be fun.
Yeah.
And it's like nowadays, I mean, you don't have to move to Austin or New York to write. You can do that in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Atlanta's like 3 hours from us. You know what I mean? They film a ton of stuff.
Or remote even.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah, there's Zoom.
Since the pandemic.
I don't know what the fuck people use. I haven't had a job
Zoom.
in like a year.
Right.
Zoom.
It's Zoom. Yeah, for sure. It's
Or
Zoom.
Google Meet.
Is there?
Yeah.
I know. So like
It's
Conan is a huge influence of mine in all aspects of his
Really?
career. But like, huge
Yeah.
and similar hair. But he is
Sun
like
color.
a huge influence. And he spent a lot of time writing too, like for The Simpsons and SNL later on. Is there anybody else like writer names that stick out to you?
Not necessarily comedic. I wanted to write fiction first, and then I realized I was really not good at it.
Did
I
you
don't know
write
what
as a
it
kid a lot?
No.
Oh.
I don't know.
You're just like, I'll take a crack at this.
No,
Yeah,
I get that. You like, I get what you're saying.
Did
though.
you
It's
read a
just-
lot as a kid though?
some.
A lot of
Yeah,
fiction.
not.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say a lot.
I can't read.
But-
For me, I know exactly what you're saying about the writing because it feels like I have a lot of stuff in my head. I feel in my head I'm a good storyteller, and I'm like, oh, I could put it on paper and be very successful at it.
Yeah.
But I also don't like to write, so that's why I don't do it. You know, so I get what you're saying.
It's tough. I think a lot of comics struggle to write. That's like
Yeah.
the number one thing you'll hear from headliners too is like writer's block. Sometimes you'll have a block. It's hard to write. And I know I've talked with Jared Hayes, and shout out to Jared. Like Jared writes like a maniac. He's very meticulous about it. Other comics never write. I know
Yep.
comics who just go on stage and puck around.
Nathaniel knows when I write and when I don't write because when I write I do very poorly, and when I don't write
That's kinda
I
true.
do
That how
I
it
do
be.
okay. So
That's kind of true, actually.
he asked me one day, he's like,
Yeah.
"Did you write that?" And I was like, "I did." He was like,
yeah.
"Shouldn't have done that." And I was like, "I know."
I think it's different for each person because, like with me, I've slowly figured out how I need to write for me. Like I used to write almost like a script, and then I go on stage and do that. And I've changed so much. I mean, Andrew, what's that? I hate that question when you ask a headliner, "What's your writing process like?"
Yeah.
But is it? I mean, you would appear like somebody who writes a lot and is very meticulous about like word choice and things. Is that a part of
With
it?
like
for you?
one-liners, you almost have to be. I feel
Right.
like
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. It's so
You don't know what
weird.
you do. Yeah.
All I know is it comes in waves when it comes, and then it's like it's just
Yeah.
it's fucking peaks and valleys.
I
Sure.
get that.
Sure.
Yeah.
If I suck bad.
So the material that
Right.
you have, we've seen you do a lot of time. Obviously, how much of that is 6 years old? Like, is there anything from when you started that's still hanging around, or is it all fairly new?
The homeless pillow fight joke.
Is it really?
It's old as fuck.
Really?
That's my
Yeah.
favorite joke.
Yeah. When we had
Also.
Brian on, and I
Soon
think
people we're gonna evolve to not need pillows or whatever, and that thing's gonna be obsolete. I'm fucked on my opener. No.
yeah, that's gonna be great. You open with that one now?
Do you
I
open with that?
usually I kind of keep it somewhere in the front if I use it. I guess.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's
I
so
love
good.
that joke.
I just and your material too is like you kind of used the word deadpan earlier, which I think is a good description.
yeah.
I mean, how much of it is it's just you though? Like you ever see a comic who's like all energy on stage but not off stage, or vice versa? I feel like you're just kind of you on stage. How long did that take you before you kind of became yourself?
Yeah, a
on stage?
while.
Yeah.
You used to have like a lot of energy on stage. Please tell me you did.
No. I
That'd
had
be impossible
less.
for me to imagine.
You'd less.
I had less.
You're asleep on stage.
I didn't. I would never smile on stage.
You didn't even talk.
I
Yeah,
would
you
go
just
up
went
to the
there.
microphone and be like, "So my dad's dead." Like that's how I would start the set.
Great start.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen you host a couple open mics too, and I've seen you perform at open mics too. And I think
Yeah.
some comics like kind of base their energy levels on open mics too. But I'll shout out Amber again. Amber is one who I watched her do two very different shows, different crowds, and that same energy she was able to bring no matter what. That always impresses
That's
me
crazy.
when I see that. Yeah. Like if you're doing the same energy for 6 people that you are for 40, that's
Yeah.
wild. That's so fun to see. You guys have a real diverse scene too in the energy levels. I feel like Keith obviously is kind of a very unique energy level, and then you have God, I don't even know. There's so many comics down there. Is there anybody that sticks out to you besides Gerard and Tyler now that they're gone? I mean, you guys have a pretty regular cast of comics that you have on shows and stuff too.
Oh yeah.
Is Keith the one that you think like sticks out right now as far as he's just Keith is always
Best in
on?
Knoxville, is that what you're talking
Not
about?
necessarily the best, but just you guys enjoy seeing perform each time. Keith is so much fun to watch, I think.
Yeah. I mean,
And
dude,
Brandy.
he's hilarious.
Yeah.
Man. I love Keith.
He's outstanding.
I mean, Andrew genuinely is probably my favorite person
I think,
to
yeah.
watch, just because like he will just go off script. Like,
Yeah.
If anything irks him, even the littlest bit, it's hilarious. So
Yeah.
I love watching him go, dude.
Yeah.
But,
Hard for me to get back into it.
yeah,
when-
I mean, I like watching Keith too. I like watching Brandy. But
I enjoy watching. I still do live, especially. Do you guys still consume a lot of like specials, podcasts? Obviously, you and I think sharing that we listen to a lot of comedians' podcasts. But like, if a special drops, have you guys seen any specials recently at all? There's a kind of a wave of
like
them
this
recently.
year,
Yeah,
or-
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, there were a bunch of good ones this
Yeah.
year, dude. There was
Yeah.
Nick Mullen's special was very
We
funny.
watched
very
it.
funny.
Matt McCusker's special was very funny.
Still haven't got to watch it. I've heard it's
very
good.
funny, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
yeah.
like It's like him, dude. It's like scrambled and everything, but it's good, dude.
I did watch Ricky Gervais' latest special, and I thought it was good. For the level that he's at, I was impressed that it was still as funny as it was. Do you now, like, Chappelle dropped one recently too? Have either of you guys watched that at all?
Are you talking like bigger comics too?
Yeah. So like, I think that's something like you're so intertwined in the kind of underground scene or like the up and coming comics that you've seen all their specials. Yeah. But the bigger ones, there's something weird with doing comedy now where I'm not as eager to watch Chappelle.
They hit a level.
Theaters.
Right.
It's like we were talking about earlier. It's just like there's a disconnect in those big rooms, and they're filming them in those big rooms, and you can kind of feel it. As a comedian who like goes and does shows all the time, and you're, where we are, we're not doing big ass things like that. So we're used to like those little intimate, like dingy rooms. So especially seeing it live all the time, it's kind of weird filmed.
It is hard.
You never capture that energy.
Yeah,
it is. I quit watching as many specials whenever I started seeing more live shows. I still watch here and there. Like if a comedian I'm a big fan of will release something, I'll still watch it. Yeah. But it's harder to. I know what you're saying. It's just harder to watch something.
Well, live comedy's so much better, and we're around it so much. I don't think anybody's arguing with that. It's so much better.
Every time I watch a special, though, I just find a joke that somebody that I know has stolen. Though, also, I don't know if you guys have that.
That's been happening a lot.
Gosh,
lately.
Man.
We've seen there's been some detective work going on out there lately on a few people.
I do enjoy too. Like, it's kind of a weird move to come to a comedy club. We'll have people come to Blue Ridge, like maybe for the first time, and go up and do street jokes or stolen jokes. And I always just think, what a weird move. Like, of all the places where, obviously,
you think you're gonna get away with that here,
right? Everybody standing in the back knows that that's a Norm Macdonald joke. Why are you doing it? Do you guys experience that a lot too? Right?
Because we were just talking about this on the way up here. There's just so many comedians that don't like comedy.
Right.
They don't watch comedy, and they don't like, but then you start meeting people that are like doing this more often, that are like doing it for a living and stuff, and it's like they know bits. Yeah. They know specific bits. They know the wording to like
certain comics too. Like I'll shout out Dustin Aaron, former guest of the show. Dustin is like an encyclopedia of bits too, and he and I like study comedy a lot before we ever did comedy. So especially if it's an older joke and somebody steals it on stage, he'll be the first one to come up to me and he'll be like,
Dustin seems like a comedy Rain Man.
Yeah,
he's
really, 100%. Yeah, boxer shorts at Kmart. Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
It is crazy.
Comedy Rain Man for sure.
I will say, in terms of like bigger comedians releasing specials this year, I really like John Mulaney's.
Really? I haven't seen his.
I haven't seen it either. I love John Mulaney, but I've not seen that special.
Because he's talking about like getting off, like getting clean and everything. Yeah, they're just like wild stories.
Yeah,
they're hilarious.
He's great. I watched Stavros' recent one. I thought it was great too.
I watched like 75% of Dusty Slay's new special. Have you guys seen that? It's very funny.
I'm sure he's great, dude.
Very
funny.
He's
like one of the best in Nashville.
Yeah. Nashville's also, I mean, you guys we're pretty geographically like close to Nashville. You guys are even closer. I mean, and you guys have like Amber and Brad Steva, all of that group come and do a lot of shows for you. Corey Knox before he moved and stuff. Do you feel like Nashville, you and I, Justin, have talked about how they really respect you personally as a showrunner. Do you think that they kind of recognize Knoxville as like, oh, it's a smaller town, obviously, but it's kind of a dope place. Like a lot of them are coming through now.
Our shows are just genuinely crazy.
Yeah.
They just are like the dudes from Atlanta were talking about it last night. They're like, what the fuck? It's like we don't have a club. So our like independent shows are wild.
Yeah.
It's like people are like thirsting for comedy, especially the lineups that I'm putting together for these things.
Why is there not a club in Knoxville anymore?
There used to be one, and then apparently they were like embezzling money or something. There were a lot of like drugs going through. Joey Diaz has a really funny story.
Yeah, I know that
splitters
story.
in Knoxville.
I know that story.
Very good. You should look it up.
Yeah.
About the guy's wife.
Yeah. He's like, you owe me $30.
Yeah. I want my $30.
That's a very funny story.
That's Side Splitters that he's talking about?
Yeah,
that's hilarious. Yeah.
And then I've heard that the reason why nobody will invest in another one is because of like Saturdays. So the vaults.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they said like a quarter of the schedule is just blacked out on Saturdays.
You and I have talked about that like even with Don't Tell during football season, Saturdays are tough.
And dude, Saturday is like, from like a scheduling standpoint, now that I'm booking this shit, Saturday is the money night. Those are the big ones.
Of course, yeah.
So
it's the easiest night for me with the kid to go to a show.
Yeah, and it's stolen now by UT every time. Yeah.
And they're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also, so like while we're recording too, just for the audience, this is Super Bowl Sunday. Do you guys have any insight on how Taylor Swift is dominating the NFL? Is that part of your psyche at all?
Get her off my screen. She's ruining the sport.
I know.
I'm sick of seeing her.
I just watched you channel my grandpa through you. That's cool. The ghost of Papa.
Yeah.
I felt like I was talking to the old dudes at my office for a second. Right
He was
there.
real talk though. My grandpa was very upset towards the end of his life by the NFL. He was like, Colin Kaepernick better fucking. Like, he's like, I'm not watching this
my
shit
grandpa's
anymore.
on the same page as your
so
grandpa.
mad, dude.
She had enough.
He was so mad. He's like, I'm not watching it anymore until they stand up. Yeah,
She was really mad about the kneeling, dude. Still is. She's had 3 brain tumors though, so she doesn't know what the fuck's happening.
She got over it. That's good. Yeah. Any Super Bowl predictions, Michael? Anything at all? Do you know who's playing in the Super Bowl? I found out
49ers.
yesterday.
I found out yesterday too,
Yeah.
dude. I'm so disconnected from football.
Damn,
I don't.
You guys are gay.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't give a shit about the
idea.
I've never.
All
given a shit
anybody's talking about
football.
is the Taylor Swift shit. That's all I keep
I
hearing.
did
And I'm
know-
like, I'm
That's
not.
because you guys are gay.
But I'm not-
You're getting gay news.
I did know.
I
the
work
Chiefs,
with all women.
I did know the Chiefs were in it the whole time. I think I knew the Chiefs were in it before.
Have
I
you
even really
watched
knew
a
the Chiefs.
game this season?
I have not watched a football game since I saw the what's Atlanta's
Twin
team?
Tower. Oh,
What's the Atlanta's team?
The Hawks?
Hawks. I saw the Hawks live in 2018, and that was the last
that's
football
not
game I
football
saw.
at all.
Pretty sick, dude.
So
Pretty sick.
I think that was
That's
last.
not football whatsoever. That's pretty hilarious. Shout out to our listeners who caught that. Yeah.
Me and Andrew, we get pussy. We like sports.
Is that true, Andrew? Tell me the truth. Is
I
that
do
true?
like sports.
Do you get? Oh,
we get
The Hawks is
very
basketball. Hold on.
we get no pussy, dude.
No.
that's
Whoa,
basketball.
The
yeah.
Hawks is basketball.
Yep,
It was
sure
the
is.
Falcons. Thank
Yeah.
you. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said basketball.
I said football.
Oh.
Let's
roll the
work this
tape.
out. Let's take.
It doesn't matter.
Let's have 20 minutes
Falcons.
to
I saw
talk
the
about
Falcons live in
sports.
2018. Doesn't matter. That was our episode.
I'm
Was
not
that 28 to 3? That game?
Sure.
The year that they went to the Super Bowl?
Sure.
I don't remember
Yeah.
when that was.
Sure.
So, no, so real quick, Andrew, we've had Justin on before, and Justin had, I think, excellent advice for young comedians. Go listen to his episode if you want to hear that. Andrew, if you had one quick piece of advice to pass on to a young comedian, what is that advice? One thing.
Don't stop, I guess. Just keep freaking doing it.
Yeah,
I love it.
Don't come
That's
on
great.
too strong when you start.
Yeah, I
Oh,
also
That
love
is a
that.
very...
that's good advice. That's one we've never had
People
on the
do
show,
that,
but
and
that's
I don't know if it's ever worked out.
Yeah.
yeah.
So-
We've had a few of those characters too at Blue
Yeah.
Ridge, where it's like, chill, buddy.
Woo. Anyway,
Self-awareness. We
Yeah.
talk about that a lot.
so
Yeah, that's great.
yeah, that was our
Plug,
episode, guys. Andrew, do you have any shows, any social media, anything you want to
Plug it up.
This comes
Yeah.
out in the beginning of March.
I'm
March
always
1st.
always a March 1st.
This comes out March 1st.
Let's
March
see.
1st.
Our roast battle is the 21st,
First, I believe.
21st.
February 21st, Central Cinema in Knoxville.
Yep.
Happy Holler.
And you
Love
do
it.
that monthly?
That was
Roast
a
battles
week
monthly.
ago.
Yeah. So when this comes out, yeah. But it's every
Oh,
month.
it is?
It's every month.
Did I do it in the past?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, fuck.
March 1st, so when this
Yes.
episode comes out.
Every third Wednesday.
Got it.
Yeah.
Every third Wednesday
That's
roast
fun.
battle. Do you have any personal, like, you don't have any headliner gigs or
I
any
thought you were
spots
gonna ask
coming
me.
up?
You don't have any social
You
media,
have any
right?
personal issues?
Anyway,
No, any spots of your own that are coming up? Obviously, you're on a lot of Don't Tell
we have
lineups.
a awesome headliner on the 16th in the Maryville Don't Tell.
Yes.
I'm very excited
Oh,
about.
Very
Yeah.
exciting. I'll be down there for that too.
Oh, yeah, you're on that show, dude.
Fuck yeah, I
Yes.
forgot
Oh, yeah,
until
dude,
right
you're
now.
hosting.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm hosting.
You're
Okay.
hosting. Or
I
wait, no, you're not. My
Oh,
bad.
okay, I was about to
Sorry,
say
I'm
it.
high.
I didn't
No,
know.
you're going. Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'll be down
Andrew's
there for that.
hosting, my bad.
Rather large
Beautiful.
venue. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, that one's really cool.
Yeah.
I guess. Oh, we can say where it's at because it's coming out afterwards.
Ooh.
But yeah, like Maryville College
Mhm.
gave us like 3 venues on their campus. Like
That's
one
awesome.
seat's like 150, one seat's 240, and one seat's over 1,000. And
Yeah.
we're just
And this one's the 150 or the 2?
this is the 240 one.
240,
So
yeah,
I mean, we'll
240.
see how it fills up. But our last
That'd be
show
awesome.
in Maryville had 130 people.
When is this show?
That's awesome. The 16th,
February?
Friday. It's
February
Friday.
16th. Yeah,
Yeah.
You
it's
need
fun.
if you need a
So-
last minute addition to the lineup.
He doesn't.
Come chill, dude.
But
Come chill. You said you never been to a Don't Tell.
That'd be a great
I
one.
mean, like once again,
Yeah.
this is coming out afterwards. So AJ Wilkerson's headlining.
Oh,
yeah.
okay,
I mean,
cool.
like, he's gonna crush. So
Yeah.
Of course, yeah, of course, yeah.
Good fun.
Social media. Any social
medias,
media?
At Andrew the Dilf on Instagram.
I love
Uh-huh.
that.
Very fitting, yeah.
And we don't do Twitter anymore, I guess, do we?
You can plug it.
X. It's called X now.
X.
Yeah,
I'm still calling it.
as in
Twitter.
wife. Yeah, X. yeah.
At Mo Jontana. MoeJontana.
Mo Jontana.
Okay.
Beautiful.
He
I get the
doesn't know what
reference.
that is.
I do.
Just-
They're Montana. I get the reference. I do.
He's like, is that Taylor Swift's boyfriend? Is
Yeah.
that-
Justin, do you have any shows, anything you want to plug, any socials?
Yeah, I got a million shows. Hell yeah. I'm opening for Sean Padden,
Yep.
doing that show. I believe that's March 2nd at Alley Ray's. Come
So
out to
tomorrow.
that. Yeah.
They're
so
all
tomorrow.
linked too in your bio. Is that right?
Yeah,
that a
yeah,
Saturday?
I don't
Sunday.
know what day that is. That's a fucking.
Today's
I think it's a
Sunday.
Saturday.
It's a Saturday.
When that show is,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, guys. Just check me out on Instagram. Follow me at the Maze Man. I post all of our shows on there. There's a link on there. You can connect to everything. So.
And also, he's going to be coming up and helping out with our first couple of shows, I think, too, with once we get Don't Tell rolling in this area. Too.
Yeah.
And a certain someone that I've mentioned a billion times on the show may be a part of that as well. So come and check that out. Those shows are going to be very exciting.
And that guy I told you about that was interested.
Yes.
He's a killer.
Yes. We have.
We're so
He's on
cryptic.
Moon Tower Festival, guys.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Research.
So,
Figure it out. But we've got a couple awesome venues lined up. That's going to be fucking incredible. NLB_423. You can check all the dates there for Don't Tell and all my personal shit. And the podcast. Follow us on YouTube if you're listening. Go look at Michael's face when he was getting roasted. That was fun.
Yep.
That was fun for me.
Michael Rose Comedy on Instagram and Threads. If you follow me on Threads, I'm sorry I don't post anything there. But Talking Bits Pod is the Instagram for us.
Yep.
And we will catch you all next week.
See you.
Bye.
Thanks,
Thank you guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us.